Animals were always hunting or being hunted. The circle of life was ever present, with predators like lions and cheetahs stalking their prey, while herbivores like zebras and antelopes remained vigilant, always ready to flee at the first sign of danger. The savanna was a theater of survival, where every creature played its part in the grand drama of life. The sun made long shadows. As the sun continued its ascent, it cast long, dramatic shadows across the landscape. The interplay of light and shadow added depth and dimension to the scene, highlighting the contours of the land and the forms of the animals. The shadows stretched and shifted, creating a dynamic and ever-changing tableau. A group of zebras munched on grass, not knowing danger was close. The zebras, with their striking black and white stripes, blended into the landscape, making them less visible to predators. They grazed peacefully, their ears twitching and tails flicking, unaware of the lurking threats. Their calm demeanor belied the constant vigilance required to survive in this harsh environment. They had to be careful to stay alive. Every rustle in the grass, every shift in the wind could signal danger. The zebra's survival depended on their ability to detect threats and react swiftly. Their keen senses and herd mentality provided some protection, but the savanna was an unpredictable place where danger could strike at any moment. Every sound, every smell could mean trouble. The animals of the savanna lived in a world of heightened awareness where the slightest change in their environment could mean the difference between life and death. They relied on their acute senses to navigate the dangers of their world, constantly scanning their surroundings for any sign of threat. Out here, staying alert meant staying alive. The savanna was a place of raw beauty and relentless challenge where only the vigilant survived. As the sun continued to rise, the day unfolded with the promise of new adventures and the ever-present struggle for survival. In this land of contrasts, every moment was a testament to the resilience and adaptability of its inhabitants. A big, strong lion looked over his land. His mane was a golden crown in the sunlight. He was powerful, with muscles rippling under his fur. This was the king, Aslan. Every animal feared him. He was in charge of his family, the pride, and he kept them safe. He walked around his land, watching and listening. He used his sharp senses to hear prey or smell enemies. He always had to be careful. Deep in a muddy watering hole, another hunter waited. This was Scarface, a big, scary crocodile. Scarface was not just any crocodile, he was a legend in these parts. His name struck fear into the hearts of all who knew of him. He was a master of stealth, a creature of patience, and a symbol of raw power. The watering hole was his domain, and he ruled it with an iron grip. He was really good at hiding. His ability to blend into his surroundings was unparalleled. The murky waters and muddy banks provided the perfect camouflage for his dark, rugged skin. Scarface could remain motionless for hours, his body perfectly still, his eyes barely breaking the surface of the water. To the untrained eye, he was invisible, just another part of the landscape. His dark skin looked just like the mud. The texture and color of his scales were a perfect match for the muddy environment. This natural disguise was his greatest weapon. It allowed him to get incredibly close to his prey without being detected. The unsuspecting animals that came to drink from the watering hole had no idea that death was lurking just beneath the surface. Only his cold eyes could be seen above the water. These eyes were the windows to his predatory soul. They were unblinking, calculating, and always watching. Scarface's eyes were his most formidable tool, allowing him to survey his territory and identify potential prey from a distance. The moment his prey made a move, Scarface was ready. He got his name from fighting. The scars that crisscrossed his body were a testament to his many battles. Each scar told a story of survival, of clashes with other predators, and of the fierce determination that kept him alive. Scarface was not just a hunter. He was a warrior, a survivor of countless encounters that had left their mark on his tough hide. He was tough, and he knew how to survive. He was patient. Patience was his greatest virtue. Scarface could wait for hours, even days, for the perfect moment to strike. He understood that in the wild, timing was everything. A single misstep could mean the difference between a successful hunt and an empty stomach. Scarface's patience was a key factor in his success as a predator. He would wait and wait for the perfect time to attack. His strategy was simple yet effective. Remain hidden, stay still, and wait for the prey to come to him. When the moment was right, Scarface would explode into action with lightning speed and precision. His powerful jaws would clamp down on his prey, leaving no chance for escape. The element of surprise was his greatest ally. His prey never knew he was there until it was too late. The animals that ventured to the watering hole were often unaware of the danger that awaited them. They would drink peacefully, oblivious to the predator lurking just beneath the surface. But in an instant their fate would be sealed. Scarface's attack was swift and brutal, a testament to his prowess as one of nature's most efficient killers. The sun got higher and it got hotter. The zebras were thirsty and walked closer to the water. The African savanna was unforgiving, with temperatures soaring and the ground cracking under the relentless heat. Every step the zebras took was a step closer to survival, but also a step closer to danger. The waterhole was their only hope, a shimmering oasis in the vast dry landscape. But it was also a place where predators lurked, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The zebras knew this, yet their thirst drove them forward, their instincts pushing them toward the life-giving water. They were nervous, but they needed a drink. Their ears twitched at every sound, and their eyes darted around, scanning for any signs of danger. The waterhole was a place of life and death, a place where the strong survived and the weak perished. The zebras took turns drinking, always keeping a lookout, always ready to bolt at the first sign of trouble. The water was cool and refreshing, a brief respite from the scorching heat, but the zebras knew they couldn't stay long. They had to be quick. For the longer they stayed, the greater the risk. Aslan watched from under a tree. He'd been following the zebras, waiting for the best time to attack. His golden eyes were fixed on the herd, his muscles tensed, ready to spring into action. Aslan was a master of patience, a predator who knew that timing was everything. He had been tracking the zebras for days, studying their movements, learning their patterns. He knew that the water hole was the perfect place to strike, a place where the zebras were vulnerable, distracted by their need to drink. But Aslan was not the only predator in the area. He was hungry. The waterhole was a good spot to hunt, but it was risky. Crocodiles lived there too. These ancient reptiles were masters of ambush, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for an unsuspecting victim to come too close. Aslan had seen them in action before, their powerful jaws snapping shut with lightning speed, dragging their prey into the murky depths. He knew he had to be careful, for one wrong move could mean the end of his hunt, or worse, his life. But Aslan was confident in his abilities. He had faced danger before and emerged victorious. Aslan was a good hunter, though. He had honed his skills over years of practice, learning from every hunt, every encounter. He knew how to move silently, how to blend into the background, how to wait for the perfect moment to strike. His senses were sharp, his reflexes quick. He was a predator at the top of his game, a lion in his prime. Aslan knew that the key to a successful hunt was patience and precision. He had to wait for the right moment, the moment when the zebras were most vulnerable, most distracted. He thought he could outsmart any crocodile. Aslan's confidence was not unfounded. He had faced many challenges in his life and he had always come out on top. He knew that the crocodiles were dangerous, but he also knew that he was smarter, faster, and more agile. He had a plan, a strategy that he had perfected over countless hunts. Aslan's eyes never left the zebras, his mind calculating every possible move, every possible outcome. He was ready. The hunt was on, and Aslan was determined to succeed. The thirst for survival drove him, just as it drove the zebras. In the end, only the strongest would prevail.
Section 5. A big fight. The first zebra stepped to the water and took a drink. Suddenly the water splashed. Scarface jumped out. Aslan watched, ready to move. Section 6. Scary teeth. Scarface was surprised but turned quickly to face Aslan. He hissed a scary sound that made the other zebras run. The waterhole became a fighting ring. Aslan jumped at Scarface, claws out, aiming for the crocodile's eyes. But Scarface moved fast. He dodged Aslan and snapped his huge, sharp teeth. They almost got Aslan. Section 7. A tough battle. Dust flew everywhere as the two giants fought. Their roars and growls were loud and scary. The ground shook as they wrestled. Aslan was fast and moved around Scarface, looking for a way to attack, but the crocodile's thick skin protected him from Aslan's claws. Scarface swung his powerful tail, trying to hit Aslan. That tail could break bones. Gap! 2S! Section 8. Winning hurts. The fight went on. Neither animal gave up. But Aslan was getting tired. He didn't know how strong Scarface was. Then he saw his chance. When Scarface attacked again, Aslan moved out of the way. He dug his claws into the side of the crocodile. Scarface roared, but Aslan held on tight. Finally, Aslan pulled away and stumbled back, breathing hard. He was hurt. Section 9. Life goes on. Scarface, hurt but alive, went back into the water. The water turned red with his blood. He lost this fight, but he would fight again. Aslan, the winner, watched him go. He won, but it was close. He learned not to underestimate anyone. He licked his wounds. Life on the African plains is tough, but it goes on.